Hello, my name is Mark S. And I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure known as severance.
The dark comedy Severance will have you considering your job and the workplace and workforce in a whole new light. Let's get into it.
I understand you're confused about the severance procedure. Before we hop on that, let's chat about something I bet you have heard of, the work-life balance.
Work-life balance. Now, we've all talked about it or worked to maintain it. Well, on this show, work-life balance is taken to a whole extreme.
Well, it's simple. One's memories are bifurcated, so when you're not at work, you have no recollection of what it is you do there.
We have our work selves and we have our real selves, our home selves, right? We come into work, we're supposed to be productive and focused, and at home we can be whatever we are. But it's this odd notion of the divided self that is unsettling.
To start, imagine yourself as a seesaw. Ow!
This is nice. When did you get it?
It's from work. I apologize.
Oh, they apologize, thank God. Did they have an attack and explanation onto that apology?
Fine. Got a gift card.
Oh, you got a gift card. Where's he going to?
On the other hand, it would be awesome to just flip the light switch when we leave work. You know, all the tension of the day, all the projects that are on our plates for the next 2 weeks. If we just stop thinking about them, that might be wonderful. And something else that we see in the program, if you're having something terrible happen in your personal life, maybe a relationship that's gone bad, it'd be great to go to work and just forget.
Like you could get married and have kids and just forget they exist for 8 hours every day for your whole life. That doesn't mess with your head?
I think for some people, it's the point.
So we have these different selves, and sometimes you do want to keep them separate. But would I get something stuck in my brain so that I couldn't remember what I did at work when I left at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? No way.
LER, please step forward. By reaching 75% refinement on Sienna, you have earned for you and your fellow refiners a 5-minute music dance experience.
One thing you gotta love about Severance is the point it makes about forced workplace merriment, in which the boss dictates that you're going to gather and darn it, you're gonna have fun, or else.
Whoa, wow. Okay.
You may already have some people that you gravitate to that you would like to socialize with, so more power to you. But there are also people who don't enjoy being around each other, people you wouldn't pick as your first choice for merriment. And it's a little bit soul-destroying and corrosive if you have to do these interactions. It's more work. In other words, it just becomes an extension of work. It's not recreation. And look, it's okay if Snodgrass over in the next cubicle is going to get a promotion and someone thinks to go out and get those little tiny cupcakes and we celebrate for 15 minutes. Yay, that's nice. But I do remind myself, don't get too snotty about the importance of interactions in the workplace. There was a study of a company, some organization, where they took people who'd never met each other, and then once a week for a month, they had these random pairs of people sit down for lunch. And guess what happened? These were salespeople, and each had, on average, 24% higher sales because they had learned from their interaction with the person that they'd never met within the company. So let's also interact, but just don't pretend it's recreational time.
Now, all the data you see falls into one of 4 essential categories. And we group each line of code and then sort it.
One of my hardworking colleagues came across this interesting thing, this self-determination theory of motivation in the workplace. It has three components: autonomy, having agency and control over one's actions. So we're watching Severance, right? Do they have control? They have no control over their actions. They're assigned a task. They have no personal context because it's cut off by the severance. They just do it. Competency. Do they know they're being effective in one's actions? It's hard to tell because they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. On the other hand, when they do a good job at the immediate task at hand, they get these little gifts, the swag.
I've got it 96% sorted, which means I've earned 4 of the 5 tier incentives, including the erasers and the finger traps that you see displayed here. 100% is tier 5. That gets you a caricature portrait. You'll note I've accrued an embarrassment of wealth in that regard.
The last piece of this theory of what motivates people is connectedness, feeling connected to others in a sense of belonging. I think in the show Severance, you see the hunger for that. So even though the main characters are in this one division of this mysterious company, they cling to each other, even though they're disparate personalities. And I think that helps them navigate the strangeness of living in a severed world.
Here sorted the departments by virtue. Macro dats are clever and true, while O&D's more cruelty-centered.
I gotta tell you, a screamingly funny part, although kind of tragic in its own way, part of Severance, is this inter-office rivalry theme. Now, our main characters work for something called macro data refinement, but there's this other division far away in the same building.
Optics and design.
Macro data refinement. Bert? Hi.
You two know each other?
And there's all this dark talk about a history between the two divisions.
Did they ever kill anyone?
Nope. There was no coup. No one killed anyone.
Then why don't we ever hang out?
I mean, I'm 99% sure there was no coup.
It's, of course, something that will resonate in many a workplace. And I think some organizations encourage it because you could pit one division against another for productivity reasons. If you can keep that workforce divided and can't agree on a process to work together to figure out what your pay is going to be and your working conditions going to be, that will suit your bosses. Ultimately, that's self-destructive because it means that each of the two divisions don't understand that they're supposed to be pulling in a similar direction. That means they don't understand what the ultimate purpose is of their work.
If the Egan philosophy is illumination above all,
Illumination beyond all, but yes.
then why doesn't that include us?
It's a wonderful thing to watch, just not a wonderful thing to experience if you're stuck in a workplace where that's the case.
But what is it? Like, what are we actually working on down there?
I don't know. I thought without Severance it would make more sense, but they separate us from the other departments. We don't even know how many there are.
One of the themes in Severance that really sticks with me is this notion of purpose in your work. It's like these people at this strange corporation have no idea why they do what they do. And that's what's missing in this fictional corporation, what management philosophers call purpose. And purpose is directly linked to employee performance. It really is. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably not going to be all that committed to doing it.
The work is bullshit.
The work is mysterious and important.
I was looking at this study by the management consultancy McKinsey, and they asked a population of people, are you living your purpose in your day-to-day work? Now, first of all, when they asked that of CEOs and senior level management, everybody goes, oh yeah, I got tons of purpose. I am Mr. Purpose, okay? They're all acting with purpose. But when they ask frontline managers and frontline employees, 85% of them either think they don't have purpose or are unsure about whether they have any purpose. In other words, just about everybody isn't really sure if they have a sense of why they do what they do.
What even are these numbers? Like, do we even know what we're supposedly cleaning?
My theory? The sea.
Useful exercise in an organization is to ask yourself and your fellow employees this question. If you stopped doing what you do in your job, who would be worse off? Imagine that person. And it shows you, why you're doing what you're doing. So if the idea is faceless investors get richer, that's why I'm doing what you're doing, that may be the actual answer. It's not all that motivating. And that's probably an organization that either should not be surprised if people don't have purpose and are not all that motivated, or an organization that needs to do some soul searching about what the right answer is.
Helly, what are you doing?
Oh, I just think I'm not gonna work here anymore. Sorry.
What do you mean?
I quit.
But it's interesting how great fiction, and in this case, great satire, can, of course, bring with it important lessons about how the real world works.